Alright, this is Mr. Gillum, and today we're going to keep working with percents. I know you love percents, so what we're going to do actually is we're going to actually find the percent of increase or decrease. So basically we started with percents, and we got a percent. We had to figure out the percent, and then we had a price, and we had to find out the remaining price. So we had a markup or a markdown. And then we got a little trickier. We had to work backwards, and they told us the final price, and we had to work backwards to find the original price. And we're going to piggyback on that, and we're actually going to not be giving any percent at all. They're going to give us the original and the final price, and we're going to have to find the percent it increased or decreased. All right, so let's just take a look here. This isn't going to be too bad at all. The percent equation. Basically what we've been using here is we've been taking the original price. Oop, wrong button. Okay. The original price times the percent equals the final price. So that's what we've been working on. And we've been practicing and practicing with that. And when we were working backwards, we divided. When we were working forward, we multiplied. So same thing. Since we're working backwards and we aren't going to know what the percent is, we're going to have to be dividing. So let's take a look at this first example. It says the original price of shoes was $39.99. And now they're only $29.99. So if they were $39.99 and now they're only $29.99, what percent changed? Where's the percentage change? So we need to find a calculator first on my desk somewhere, and we need to divide. Let's see here. I don't see one. Okay, we'll just have to do it the long way. If I want to know this missing percent here, I'm going to divide both sides by $39.99. Get that missing percent that I'm looking for. Because really I'm only paying $29.99 out of the total $39.99. That's kind of how fractions work. I'm paying $29.99, that amount out of the $39.99. Oh, you know what? I'll teach you guys a little tricky here. We'll just do the whole calculator right there. Okay, so we're going to do $29.99 divided by $39.99 equals. Okay, so what I see is it gives me this big long number equals 0.7, we'll just say 0.75. Now, that's not 0.75%. Do you remember when we started with percent, we said that like 150% we know as a decimal is 1.5? So kind of the same way, but we're going to be working backwards. Instead of 0.75%, we're going to say it is 75%. And so what we can say is, well, this is kind of tricky. $29.99 is 75% of $39.99, but it doesn't ask us what percent is $29.99 of $39. It says what is the percent of discount. So if we're paying 75%, then the actual answer would be we're discounted 25%. So ignore that I circled that. The actual discounted portion of it was 25% off of the original price. Let's take a look at another one. It says last year 247 students attended the first home football game. This year 295 attended. What was the percent increase in attendance? Now it doesn't say what the percent, well, we'll get to that in a second. So we started with 247 and then it changed some sort of percent, we don't know, and now there's 295 students attending. So same thing, we're going to go ahead and work backwards. I want to get this unknown part, we don't know what percent it is, by itself. So I'm going to divide both sides by 247. And so this unknown percent is going to tell me, and once again I'm going to pull up my trusty calculator here, 295 divided by 247 equals 1.194. 1.194. Or we could even just say, we'll just round to the nearest hundredth, 1.19. But we got to be careful here because we're comparing the original to the new one. So yes, it is 100. So we could say it's 119% of the original, but it's not. It didn't increase 119%. It only increased from the original 100%, and only increased 19% from the original 100%. So even though it says 119%, we started with a full 100% and it only went up by 19%. Okay? So let's take a look at the next one. It says I bought a pair of boots on Black Friday for $39.99. Okay. Oh, it says I paid $39.99 for them. That's how much I walked out the door. They started at $129.99. We don't know what the percent is. So once again, we're working backwards, and we're using our brains here. We're thinking, okay, well, we need to know what percent was the discount, not what percent is $39.99 of $129.99. We're looking for the percent it changed from the original 100%. So we are going to find that $39.99 divided by $129.99 equals 0.308, we'll say. All right, now be careful on this last part. Yes, I'm glad that you can come up. So we got 30.8% is the percent that $39.99 is compared to $129.99, but that means if we're paying 30.8%, that means we had to pay 69.2% because we started with that original 100% and we're not paying 30.8% of it. That leaves us with a 69, or sorry, we are paying 30.8% of it. That leaves us with a 69.2% discount is what the actual discount was. We paid 30.8%, so we didn't pay, which is the amount of discount, 69.2%. So double working backwards today. All right. It says last year 762 students went to the back to the school and Halloween dances. This year only 645 attended the two dances. What is the percent of decrease? Okay, so we started with 762 and we ended up with 645, and we need to know what type of percent change happened here. So like we set up the last few here, I'm going to divide both by 762. And when I divide 645 by 762, I get 0.85. We'll just do 0.85, it's fine. 0.85. But if that's a percent that's already changed to a decimal, we're going to really change it to 85%. So now this is a tricky part where I don't want to lose anybody. That means 85% of last year's students are there. That means that 15% of the students aren't there, aren't attending. All right, so this percent that you're getting here is the percent of last year's compared to this year's. Okay, so the percent it changes is how much it changed from the 100%, from the original 100%. So I'm taking 100% minus 85%. That's leaving with 15% that it decreased. It decreased 15% to the 85% of the last year. Let's do one more. It says Hotel Transylvania DVD is regular $19.99, but it's on sale for $11.99. What's the discount? What percent is discounted? $19.99 is what we're starting with, times some sort of discount. We don't know what percent it is, but it's supposed to equal $11.99. So that's how we're going to set up our equation. My original, percent, and my final. So I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by $19.99 to help me find my percent. When I do $11.99 divided by $19.99, I get, we're just going to say 0.60. 0.60. But now remember, this is the percent as a decimal, so we're going to move it back to 60%. So we are paying 60% of the price, but that means that we're not paying 40%. It is 40% off. Now if we think about that, 60% off of $19.99 would be something less than $10. So that wouldn't be the percent discount. 40% of something is a little not quite down to halfway. If we just said this is 20 right here instead, just think about it, and this is 12, all right, and we decided 60 was our answer, that wouldn't make sense because 60 is more than half off. But 40% is a little less than half off. half off of 20 would be 10, so we know we should be paying a little more than that. So 40 makes sense as the actual percent that is being discounted. We're discounted 40%. That means we had to pay 60%. So 40% is the part where they're discounted. Okay, I hope that made sense, but hopefully now you can learn, or you know how to work backwards and find your missing percent or your percent of change. Okay, either a percent discount or a percent of markup. That's it for today.